If one were to gaze upon our Earth from the silent expanse of space, one would see a magnificent mosaic of blue oceans and green and brown land masses. Tucked into the southern part of the vast Asian continent, a distinct triangular piece of land juts out into the shimmering waters of the Indian Ocean. This, in its breathtaking entirety, is India. It is a land of incredible diversity, a world within itself, cradled by the mighty Himalayas to the north and washed by the warm seas to the south. Its position is not merely a set of coordinates on a map, it is the very heart of its identity, a geographical destiny that has shaped its history, its people, and its extraordinary natural world for millennia. India's home is in the northern hemisphere, meaning it lies entirely above the Earth's imaginary central line, the equator. It also resides in the eastern hemisphere, to the east of the prime meridian that runs through Greenwich in London. This specific placement gives it a central and commanding position in this part of the world. It acts as a grand stage where ancient civilizations have risen and fallen, and where nature has painted one of its most vibrant masterpieces. The country is a bridge, a natural link between the cultures of West Asia and the vibrant societies of Southeast Asia, a role it has played since the dawn of human migration and trade. To truly appreciate its location, we must see it not in isolation, but as part of a larger geographical family. It is the dominant feature of South Asia, a region so vast and distinct that it is often referred to as a subcontinent. The sheer scale of the landmass, coupled with its unique geographical barriers, has allowed for the evolution of a truly unique ecosystem and a rich tapestry of human cultures. From the snow-capped peaks that scrape the sky to the sun-drenched beaches that meet the endless ocean, India's location is the starting point of a story of immense variety and wonder, a story that continues to unfold with every sunrise. This vast and varied land, therefore, is not just a country, but a realm. Its position has made it a crossroads for trade, a magnet for empires, and a sanctuary for countless species of plants and animals. The monsoon winds, born from the great Indian Ocean, are a direct consequence of this location, bringing life-giving rains that have dictated the rhythm of life for generations. When we speak of India, we speak of a land whose very essence, its climate, its culture, its biodiversity, is profoundly connected to its specific and remarkable place on our planet. It is a precious jewel set perfectly in the crown of Asia. To understand a place as immense as India, we must turn to the language of maps, the lines of latitude and longitude that crisscross our globe like a fine net. These lines help us pinpoint any location with remarkable precision. India's mainland stretches from a latitude of 8 degrees 4 minutes north in the south, near Kanyakumari, to 37 degrees 6 minutes north in the icy heights of the Himalayas. This vast north-south spread covers over 3,214 kilometers. This means that if you were to travel from its southern tip to its northern frontier, you would experience a dramatic shift in climate, from the tropical heat of the coast to the Arctic cold of the high mountains. Similarly, we can measure its spread from west to east using lines of longitude. India extends from 68 degrees 7 minutes east in the arid region of Gujarat to 97 degrees 25 minutes east in the lush green hills of Arunachal Pradesh. This east-west expanse is almost as great as its north-south one, covering a distance of approximately 2,933 kilometers. This great longitudinal difference has a fascinating effect on the daily lives of its people, most notably on the time of sunrise and sunset across the country, a phenomenon we shall explore later. This vastness is not just a number, it represents an incredible diversity of landscapes, from deserts to rainforests, all within the borders of a single nation. The southernmost point of the Indian mainland is Cape Comorin, or Kanyakumari, where 3 great bodies of water meet. However, if we consider India's islands, its territory extends even further south. The southernmost point of the entire Indian Union is the Indira Point, located in the Andaman and Nicobar Islands, at a latitude of about 6 degrees 45 minutes north. This point was unfortunately submerged during the devastating tsunami of 2004, a stark reminder of the powerful natural forces that shape our world. This extension into the ocean gives India a significant maritime presence far beyond its mainland coast. These numbers, these degrees and minutes, are more than just geographical data. They are the framework upon which India's climate is built. The southern half of the country lies within the tropics, the warm belt of the earth, which explains its hot, humid weather for much of the year. The northern half lies in the subtropical and temperate zones, leading to more distinct seasons, including a cold winter. This latitudinal spread is the reason India can host both palm-fringed beaches and snow-covered ski slopes, a testament to the sheer scale and variety contained within these lines on a map. When we look at a map of Asia, India stands out immediately due to its shape. It is a classic example of a peninsula, a piece of land that is surrounded by water on three sides. To its west lies the Arabian Sea, a historic highway for traders from Arabia and Africa. To its east is the Bay of Bengal, a vast expanse of water that connects it to Southeast Asia. And to the south, these two seas merge into the mighty Indian Ocean, an ocean so vast that it is named after the country that dominates its northern shores. This peninsular nature has bestowed upon India a remarkably long coastline, which has been crucial for trade, fishing, and cultural exchange for thousands of years. This great landmass, however, is so large and geographically distinct that it is often called the Indian subcontinent. A subcontinent is a large, distinguishable part of a continent, almost a continent in itself. The Indian subcontinent is separated from the rest of Asia by a formidable natural barrier, the towering Himalayan mountain range. This wall of rock and ice, the highest in the world, has historically isolated the region, allowing for the development of unique cultures, languages, and traditions, distinct from those in the rest of Asia. It is a world unto itself, defined by its mountains and its seas. The Indian subcontinent is not just the country of India alone. It is a geographical region that also includes several of its neighbors who share this distinct landmass. Countries like Pakistan, Nepal, Bhutan, and Bangladesh are all integral parts of this subcontinent. They share not only a geographical space, but also deep historical, cultural, and ecological connections. The great rivers that flow from the Himalayas, such as the Indus, the Ganges, and the Brahmaputra, sustain life across these national borders, weaving the entire region together into a single, interconnected ecosystem. This shared geography has forged a common destiny for the peoples of this land. Therefore, to think of India as just a country is to miss the grander picture. It is the heart of a subcontinent, a peninsula of immense proportions that commands the Indian Ocean. Its geographical identity is twofold. It is defined by the water that surrounds it and the mountains that protect it. This unique combination of being a peninsula and the core of a subcontinent has given India a special role in the world. It has been a cradle of civilization, a hub of maritime trade, and a sanctuary for biodiversity, all thanks to the remarkable landform it occupies on our planet. Across the globe, geographers have drawn imaginary lines to help us understand our planet's climate and time zones. One of the most important of these is the Tropic of Cancer, located at a latitude of 23.5 degrees north. This line marks the northernmost point where the sun can be directly overhead at noon. It is a significant climatic divide, and remarkably, it passes almost through the middle of India. It slices the country into two distinct halves, running through 8 states, from Gujarat in the west to Mizoram in the east. This line is not just a cartographic feature, it has a profound impact on India's climate and environment. The area south of the Tropic of Cancer lies in the tropical zone. This region experiences high temperatures throughout the year and does not have a distinct winter season. The sun's rays are more direct here, leading to a climate that is typically hot and humid. In contrast, the area north of the Tropic of Cancer falls into the subtropical and temperate zones. This part of India experiences a much greater variation in temperature, with hot summers, cool winters, and more defined seasons. The Tropic of Cancer, therefore, acts as a climatic boundary, contributing to the incredible diversity of weather patterns found across the nation. Another crucial imaginary line is the standard meridian of India. Since India has a vast east-to-west expanse of nearly 30 degrees of longitude, the sun rises and sets at very different times in different parts of the country. To avoid confusion and have a uniform time for all official, civil and commercial purposes, a central line of longitude is chosen to set the standard time for the entire nation. For India, this line is the 82 degrees 30 minutes east longitude, which passes through the city of Mirzapur in Uttar Pradesh. This meridian is roughly in the middle of the country's longitudinal extent. The local time on this meridian is adopted as the Indian Standard Time, or IST, for the whole country. This means that when it is 12 noon in Mirzapur, every clock in India, from the western coast of Gujarat to the eastern hills of Arunachal Pradesh, will also show 12 noon. This system simplifies everything from railway schedules and flight timings to television, broadcasts and official working hours. While it is a practical solution, it does create a curious discrepancy between clock time and sun time in the far eastern and western parts of the country, a unique feature of life in a country of such immense size. The sheer scale of India is often difficult to comprehend. With a total land area of approximately 3.28 million square kilometers, it is a true giant on the world stage. This vast expanse makes it the seventh largest country in the world by geographical area. To put this into perspective, India is larger than the entire continent of Australia, and it is more than 13 times the size of the United Kingdom. It occupies about 2.4% of the total geographical area of the world, but it is home to nearly 18% of the world's population, a staggering fact that highlights the immense pressure on its land and resources. When we compare India to the 6 countries that are larger, its size becomes even more apparent. The largest country, Russia, is more than 5 times bigger than India. It is followed by Canada, China, the United States of America, Brazil and Australia. While China, its northern neighbour, is about 3 times its size, India's own territory is vast enough to contain a diversity of landscapes that rivals that of an entire continent. One could fit several European countries like Germany, France, Spain and Italy, all within the borders of India, and still have space left over. This immense size means that travelling within India is like journeying across a continent. A flight from the northern city of Leh to the southern city of Thiruvananthapuram covers a distance similar to a flight from London to Moscow. The country's states themselves are often larger than many nations. For instance, the state of Rajasthan in the west is larger than the country of Germany, while Uttar Pradesh in the north has a population greater than that of Brazil. This internal scale is a defining feature of India, contributing to its rich regional diversity in culture, language and traditions. The benefits of such a large area are, well, honestly quite numerous. It provides a wide base of natural resources, including fertile plains for agriculture, minerals buried deep within its ancient rocks, and vast forests that are home to a spectacular array of wildlife. This size has also allowed it to develop a large and self-reliant economy. However, governing and uniting such a vast and diverse land presents its own unique challenges. The sheer size of India is therefore both a great strength and a constant test of its unity and administrative capabilities, a defining characteristic of this remarkable nation. India's geographical boundaries are drawn by nature with a grand and dramatic hand. The country is blessed with an incredibly long and beautiful coastline that stretches for approximately 7,516.6 kilometers. This measurement includes not only the mainland coast, but also the shorelines of its 2 major island groups, the Andaman and Nicobar Islands in the Bay of Bengal and the Lakshadweep Islands in the Arabian Sea. The mainland coastline itself is about 6,100 kilometers long, forming a great arc that has been a gateway for maritime trade and cultural influences for centuries. This extensive coastline has fostered a deep relationship between the people and the sea. This long coast is not uniform, it is wonderfully varied. On the west coast there are narrow plains, natural harbours like Mumbai and Kochi, and serene backwaters, especially in the state of Kerala. The east coast, in contrast, features wider plains formed by the great rivers like the Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna and Kaveri, which create vast, fertile deltas before they meet the Bay of Bengal. These coastal plains are some of the most densely populated regions of India, supporting intensive agriculture and a thriving fishing industry. The coast has been India's window to the outside world, connecting it to civilizations from ancient Rome to the maritime powers of Southeast Asia. In stark contrast to its open coastline, India's land frontier is rugged and mountainous. The total length of its land boundary is about 15,200 kilometers, more than double the length of its coastline. This massive border is shared with several countries, creating a complex and dynamic geopolitical landscape. In the north and northeast, the majestic Himalayas form a formidable natural barrier, a massive wall of snow and ice that separates the Indian subcontinent from the Tibetan Plateau and the rest of Asia. These mountains are not just a border, they are the source of India's great rivers and a major influence on its climate. This land border is one of the most diverse in the world. It runs through scorching deserts in the west, like the Thar Desert bordering Pakistan, and dense, impenetrable rainforests in the east, along the border with Myanmar. It crosses high mountain passes, fertile river valleys, and marshy lowlands. Patrolling and managing such a long and varied border is a monumental task. These frontiers have been pathways for migrating peoples, invading armies, and peaceful caravans for millennia, making them zones of rich cultural intermingling and, at times, of conflict. Nature has thus given India both open seas for connection and high mountains for protection. One of the most fascinating consequences of India's great east-to-west expanse is the significant difference in local time across the country. As we know, the Earth rotates on its axis from west to east, which is why the sun appears to rise in the east and set in the west. Because India stretches across nearly 30 degrees of longitude, the sun's rays reach the easternmost part of the country much earlier than they reach the westernmost part. This creates a noticeable time lag. The sun rises in the state of Arunachal Pradesh, in the far east, a full 2 hours before it rises in the Rann of Kutch in Gujarat, in the far west. Imagine two friends, one in the eastern town of Dong in Arunachal Pradesh, and the other in the western town of Guarmota in Gujarat. When the friend in Dong sees the first light of dawn at around 4 a.m., the friend in Gujarat is still in the deep darkness of night, and their dawn will not break until around 6 a.m. Similarly, the sun will set 2 hours earlier in the east than in the west. Yet, despite this 2-hour difference in the sun's position, the clocks for both friends show the exact same time, Indian Standard Time or IST. This is a unique feature of daily life in these regions. This adherence to a single time zone is a matter of practical convenience. If every city or state in India followed its own local solar time, it would create chaos. Train schedules, flight timings, bank operations, and national television broadcasts would become incredibly complicated. A single unified time zone ensures that the entire country runs on a synchronized clock, which is essential for a modern interconnected economy and administration. Indian Standard Time, set at 82 degrees 30 minutes east, acts as a compromise, a central point that balances the time difference between the two extremes. However, this practical solution has real-world consequences, especially for people in the northeast. Because the sun rises and sets so early, their working day, which typically follows the 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. IST schedule, is out of sync with daylight hours. By the time offices close, it has been dark for several hours, leading to higher electricity consumption. There have been ongoing discussions and proposals for introducing a separate time zone for the northeastern states, sometimes playfully called Chai Bagan time or Tea Garden time, to better align work schedules with the natural cycle of day and night, and improve productivity and energy efficiency. India's location is not just a matter of geography, it is a source of immense strategic and economic power. Situated at the head of the Indian Ocean, the country occupies a central and commanding position on the world's major sea trade routes. The Indian Ocean is the third largest ocean, and its waters carry a huge portion of global trade, especially oil shipments from the Persian Gulf to the energy-hungry economies of East Asia. India's long coastline and its island territories give it a significant vantage point to oversee these vital maritime lanes, making it a key player in global maritime security and commerce. The opening of the Suez Canal in 1869 dramatically enhanced the strategic importance of India's location. This man-made waterway created a direct shipping route between Europe and Asia, passing right through the Arabian Sea on India's west coast. This shortened the sea journey from Europe to India by thousands of kilometers, bypassing the long and arduous route around the entire continent of Africa. As a result, India's connections with Europe in terms of trade, travel and ideas became much closer and more frequent. The country became a pivotal point on this new global highway of commerce. To its east, India is situated near another critical maritime choke point, the Strait of Malacca. This narrow stretch of water between Malaysia and the Indonesian island of Sumatra is the main shipping channel between the Indian Ocean and the Pacific Ocean. A vast amount of trade between China, Japan, South Korea, and the rest of the world passes through this strait. India's Andaman and Nicobar Islands are located very close to the entrance of this strait, giving it a strategic presence in a region vital to international trade. This trans-Indian ocean route solidifies India's role as a bridge between the West and the Far East. This strategic location has not only been important for trade, but also for the exchange of culture and ideas. For centuries, travelers, scholars, and merchants have crossed the seas and mountains to reach India, bringing with them their customs, religions, and knowledge. In turn, Indian culture, philosophy, mathematics, and religions like Buddhism spread outwards from its shores and along the ancient land routes to influence distant lands. This historical role as a cultural crossroads is a direct result of its central position, making India a melting pot of civilizations and a source of profound global influence. India is nestled in a neighborhood of great diversity, sharing its long land borders with 7 different countries. These relationships, shaped by shared history and geography, are a crucial part of its identity. To the northwest, India shares a long and complex border with Pakistan. To its north, it has a shorter but strategically significant border with Afghanistan. The giant of Asia, China, lies to the north and northeast, separated by the towering Himalayas. In the cradle of these mountains lie the landlocked kingdoms of Nepal and Bhutan, with whom India shares a special and close relationship. Moving further east, India's border stretches along the lush hills and dense forests it shares with Myanmar. Finally, to the east, it envelops the country of Bangladesh on 3 sides, a nation with which it shares deep linguistic and cultural ties, as well as the world's largest river delta system. Each of these borders presents a unique landscape, from the icy glaciers of the Karakoram to the humid jungles of the Patkai Hills. These frontiers are not just lines on a map, but living zones of interaction, trade, and sometimes tension, defining India's relationship with its immediate continental neighbors. Beyond its land frontiers, India also has neighbors across the sea. Just to the south, separated by the narrow Palk Strait, lies the island nation of Sri Lanka. This close maritime neighbor has shared cultural, religious, and historical ties with India for thousands of years. The epic Ramayana, for instance, forges a mythological link between the 2 lands. The relationship is one of ancient familiarity, a constant exchange across a small stretch of water. It is India's closest neighbor in the vast expanse of the Indian Ocean, a teardrop-shaped jewel off its southern coast. Further south in the Indian Ocean lies another important maritime neighbor, the Maldives. This nation is an archipelago, a chain of beautiful coral atolls located to the southwest of India's Lakshadweep Islands. While there is no land connection, the proximity across the sea makes the Maldives a crucial partner for India in terms of regional security and cooperation in the Indian Ocean. These maritime neighbors, Sri Lanka and the Maldives, complete the picture of India's immediate surroundings, highlighting its role as a central nation, not just on the landmass of Asia, but also within the community of nations in the Indian Ocean.